You are the Lord who reigns over all things. You are the Father who created all things. Jesus, Jesus, receive the glory this morning. Receive the praise this morning, O Lord. We bless you, O Lord. We bless you, O Lord. We bless you, O Lord. If you join us this morning, this is the morning service for Gospel Family Chapel. I believe it is a time to go into His presence, to praise, to worship, to hear the word of the Lord. And I know that as you connected your phone to this platform, you are not going to miss anything. It's not going to be a waste of time. It's going to be a time of gain. Hallelujah. We are going to praise Him. We are going to worship Him. And then we are going to hear the unadulterated word of God that He has for us. We bless you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, Nasuye, oh, Yami, oh, Sahagrada, oh, Chichi, oh, Yo, Yami, and Su, oh, Yo, Yami, oh, Nasuye, oh, Yami, oh, Sahagrada. Oh,
can get the scripture, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. Standing this scripture, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. And for many who are watching from Facebook Live, this Gospel Family Chapel, Tansuma. My name is Pastor Joy Seal. Indeed, you are in the presence of God. So pay attention and listen to what God has for all fathers today. The title again is Priorities of Fatherly Life. If you are a father or you are a man, they know that there are certain things you must do first, always in life. You must not depart from this. I want to look at these things so as to help you in life as we move in the things concerning God. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 10. Ephesians 2 verse 10. I'm reading from NIV. For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Very interesting. It's a very wonderful scripture. It is revealing what God has done for us. We have been made, created in the fashion, in the manner of Christ. What Christ is what God has made us to be. In fact, God makes it very clear that we don't know what we shall be like. And when He appears, we shall see Him face to face. And as He is, so shall we also be. So our God has made it very clear that we are created in Him after the fashion of Christ. And God has, in fact, advanced all what we are supposed to do ahead of time. So what we are even doing now is not something that God has initiated. Now, this is something that God has prepared long ago. So we are just following what God has prepared, has planned, and purpose for every life. So, as a father, as a man, as a woman, that is how God has made us to be. Created in Christ Jesus, to look like Him, to move like Him, to walk like Him, and to talk like Him. And these things that God has made already prepared for us, so we walk in these things. It's my prayer that you hear this word, understand it, and apply it. And I'm speaking specifically to fathers. Fathers and men, or men in general. Men in general and particular fathers. In this scripture, we see clearly that God has made us to be like Christ, to experience a certain type of life, to walk in a certain type of life, to live a certain type of life. And it is a life that we want to look at. What has God made us? Indeed, in God making us through Christ Jesus, and indeed in His fashion and His manner, what are the type of life that we are going to see as we live for Christ? Very important. Now we will look at a very important scripture, 2 Corinthians chapter 5. 2 Corinthians 5. We are looking at verses 17 to 21. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. 17 to 21. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation, the old has gone, the new has come. Verse 18. All this is from God, who reconciled us to Himself through Christ Jesus, and gave us the ministry of reconciliation. That God was reconciling the whole world to Himself in Christ, not counting men's sins against them. And He has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. Hallelujah. Amen. These are powerful scriptures which, when we indeed go through it very carefully in very few minutes, we understand what God is talking to us about. The type of life that we have been ushered into through Christ Jesus as a result of what he did for us on the cross. I was saying he died, he was buried, he was raised up, and ascended to heaven, and then he was glorified. And when that was done, it means that all of us who are part of him, who have accepted him as Lord and Savior, we have become like him. So he has made a certain changes in your life as a result of this activity which he did on the cross, which you have become also partakers. For anyone who is in Christ, we have become part of what they did on the cross. So you also be crucified. Say amen to God, that's where you are. Amen. So what type of life that we as workmanship of God, we have been created to be? That life. And from 2 Corinthians 5, 17 to 20, we can see 4 things. 4 things are very clear. Number 1, verse 17 is transformation. If anyone is in Christ, is what? It's a new creation. So there's been a change, a real change in every aspect of your life. You have been changed from old to new. This is what you must know. Old to new. In other words, the old habits that we were used to when we were sinners, through Christ, they are no more. Those habits are no more. So you have been renewed. So if you are a father, know this, that you have been transformed. A life of transformation has taken place in your life. You are no more the old person that who used to be doing wrong things in the past. But then you will try to do right things. You have been created with a new focus, new heart, new mind, to do new things. So if you're a father, know for this that you are a new person. A new person means your attitude towards things in the home, in the marriage, in relationship should be different. And as a man, in the same manner. As a woman, you are in the same manner. And I'm joining women to this because it's a very gracious way, which they are also part of it. So any person who is in Christ has been ushered to a new way of life. And that is what is called a life of transformation. Changes has come. There are all spiritual changes, which automatically leads to physical changes, which we are seeing in many lives, even on this earth. So it's a change of attitude, change of character, change of the way that we relate to men and women, and how we raise children in the house. All these things have been changed by Christ. Complete change, overhauling of all things. So your attitude now has been different, and you are focused more on doing things of God. You want to pray, you want to go to church, you want to worship, you want to love one another, you want to support one another, help the needy. That's the type of life we're talking about. So a father is supposed to have this attitude, a transformed attitude, a transformed way of life, and it is God who attend this on your behalf, which we must pursue day and night through certain interventions and activities that you must follow every day, either by reading the word of God every day, by praying, by making sure that you are in a company of people who are also righteous, who are people who know God, who serve God, who fear God in every area. So it's a whole life that God has transformed in our behalf. So you can see here that as a father, your life is different. So when we say priorities of family life, we are talking about a transformed life, which certain things must be done. And we shall talk about that later. In order to be connected to this transformed life. So now I'm telling you, showing you the type of life that we see now, a life of transformation. Like verse 17, number 2, a love of reconciliation. You can get this in the same scripture, 2 Corinthians 5, 18 to 19. It's a love whereby we draw all men to ourselves. We relate to people in a loving manner. There's nothing like envy anymore, jealousy anymore, unforgiveness anymore. We are related. God has forgiven us of our sins, and He has even drawn us to Himself. And He wants us to relay this message to all the other people. That God says, hey, there's no more sin against anyone. Through Christ Jesus, as we receive Jesus, send one is one off. And we are reconciled. We are drawn into His kingdom. So He has indeed given us that message to go out, to share this to everybody. That there is now a reconciliation. There is now reconciliation. So which means if you're a father, try to reconcile the family. Bring them together by one man in prayer through your word that you share with them every day. You must cultivate the habit of having devotions in the morning and the evening so that they will all become part of what God is doing in the kingdom. Reconciliation. Draw your wife to yourself as a father. Draw your wife. Make sure that you are linking your wife in love and in peace and in joy. And you are connected to her in every area of life. So that reconciliation is another way of love for every father. And you are not a father who is there to divide families, divide family, divide your wife and children, and cause them to run away from their house, so that they will not be part of their family home that God has given to you. No, but you are a person who is drawing all members of the family together, including as many as are part of you, and even as many as who you don't even know, including your enemies. And God has made it very clear that we should really love everyone, including our enemies. So you have been ushered as a father into a life of reconciliation. And a man, if you are here, begin to make sure that you are walking in that step. Always begin from now. If you are not married now, begin from now. And relate to people in a manner that will not bring division. That will bring unity among people. And you will make sure that you will live in a manner that is honorable to God, pleasing to God, a life that is of love, a life that is of faith. Number 3, verse 20. Let's go at verse 20. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making His appeal. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. Now this scripture is actually revealing us as ambassadors. What does ambassador mean? Ambassador represents, in the natural sense, ambassador represents the nation which he belongs. So if American ambassador is here, he represents the whole of America as he lives in this nation. So Bible calls us, we are also ambassadors for him. Ambassadors, so we represent heaven. So if you can go home, or wherever you are, you can write on your bedside, ambassador for God on Ghana. Change your attitude, you are an ambassador. So you have been given a new title, honorable. Yes, because you are an ambassador. Not of heavenly kingdom, but not earthly kingdom, but heavenly kingdom. So it means that it is so unique, so powerful, so glorious, and it's so revealing. And what does that mean? It means that we must carry ourselves as people who are evangelizing, in life of evangelization. We must show this to all people that, hey, I represent God. Hey, I'm a servant of God. Hey, I'm a man of God. So it is not something out of church when many of these fake prophets go about here and they tell themselves, oh, we are prophets, we are apostles, we are so forth and so forth. They are trying to portray themselves as ambassadors of God, but actually, in their attitudes and their character is quite different. But if you are carrying that mantle as an ambassador of God, then you should know what to do. You must actually portray the standards of heaven on this earth. So the whole message is that as a father, you are living a life of evangelization. In other words, your whole life must tell people who you are, where you come from, the way you smile, the way you talk, the way you relate to people, will know where you're coming from. Even the way you dress, the way you cut your hair. So if you are a father and you are cutting your hair in a professional man, I think from today, go back, go to your barber, go to your barber immediately and take a new shape. That will resound God's glory upon your life. So all we see that you did, you will represent heaven on this earth. Ambassador of God. And it is to evangelize, to let people know that these are the people who come from God. These are the people who represent God. These are the people who know God. And your attitude, your character, would so many to become part of the kingdom. And also become ambassadors. So as I speak to you right now, if you're a father, you are an ambassador of God. So go forth from today. Show attitude, show your character in the home, everywhere you are, in your workplace. If you're a driver, show that. Let people know when you are on the driving wheel, let people know that you are an ambassador of God. Don't be shouting to other low voices, insulting them on the highways. No, don't do it. Ambassador of God does not do that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So this is a clear message to us. Sir, as a father, we are obligated, commanded to live this life, to evangelize, to make people know where we are coming from. So God is counting on us as fathers to propagate the gospel, to show forth the people what God has done in our life. A transformed life is a life that is not an ordinary life. It must be transformed. It must show people who you are. And it must tell people that indeed you are reconciled. You so like people. You love people. You are a person who brings people together. And all these signs are things that they tell people all over the world, people around you, that indeed you are a man of God. You are indeed a evangelist. You are indeed a prophet. You are indeed a pastor. You don't need to highlight it yourself. People will see that they call you that. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Now the fourth one, is in verse 21. Verse 21, 2 Corinthians 5, verse 21. And we are talking about a father, if a workmanship of God, and a father or a man. The type of life that God has brought us into is a life, verse 21, a life of perfection. And let me take us to chapter. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. So he's talking about righteousness of God, who is the holiness of God, perfection of God. So here, we're talking about perfection. Also, God makes all things perfect concerning us. And indeed, the word of God in the perfect us, it cleanses and makes us holy. So it is very, very important that you as a father, you must live that holiness. Let people see holiness in you. Holiness in every area. Don't be following a company of drunkards and don't say, oh, I want to go and evangelize drunkards. So you go and sit down with them and they drinking sports where they take tortoise. And you did that's where you are, hey, my friend, be careful, because if I don't care, when they will evangelize you, they will draw you to themselves. But perfection means that, Lord, certain areas you must not go, certain things you must not do. Do things that indeed will bring God's glory upon your life. Make God holy, make God righteous, make God indeed to be a God who is so distinct, unique, and different from others. That's what is called perfection. And God has indeed perfected us through his word for that purpose. And it is God's workmanship created in Christ Jesus for all of us. So all these things have been deposited in you as a father. And if you're a man, that's what God has done for you. He has put into you His what? His transformation spirit. And you will see transformation in every aspect of life. Your attitude is an attitude of Christ. That's the attitude that we're talking about. Hello. My topic, let me do my topic again. Priorities of family life. And we are talking about Father because the Father's Day. And in general, all men. And I believe a woman to come here and also mold their life in that same fashion. But it's concerned every believer. Priorities of life. So now, having seen the type of life that we have been ushered into by Christ, now what are the priorities? What are the things that we must do first? When we say priorities, there are things that we must do first. It's not second, no, first. You must not set that aside and do something else. You must do that first. If you are not doing that first, you cannot connect. You cannot connect to these 4 things that you have shared with me now. You can't. If you are not doing 4 things, you cannot go forth and live perfection and live a life of evangelization, a life of reconciliation. You can't. You can't. It will be all. So on as you practice this. So what are the things? What are the priorities of life? The priorities of life, we are talking about things we must do first. The Bible talks about 3 things that we must all pursue first in life. Hey, do these things first, other things second. Listen to that. Now the first one that we all know, because we have read this several times, is in Matthew 6:33. Matthew 6:33. Very simple scripture. Matthew 6:33. And it talks about it. It mentions it even there for you. Seek ye first. So it means first thing. Seek ye first. So Matthew 6:33. Matthew says, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. So he's talking about, you see, there are certain things you must always do first, so that other things will be given to all, certain things will come or be done. And these things are things that God has made it very clear. And as fathers, it is my real job to mention this to you, because I'm also a father, that from now, throw away certain things, revise your notes, your life, 10 things around. If you mean repentance, repent. So that we can now begin to do these basic first things. Basic first things, simple things. It's a seek. Seek means there are things that you must search for. You must make sure that you are always possessing them. The kingdom righteousness, kingdom things. What are kingdom things? It can be joy, it can be peace, it can be holiness, it can be fulfillment of God's promises, is life that we want. And it is things that are in heaven. So Bible commands us that we should always be seeking things which are from above and not beneath. So now our focus now should be in reverse of things above and not things below. And that has been it's so difficult for all of us. I won't single anybody out. Because we are attempting to practice it at a certain time. But at another time we forget. And they pursue the other things instead of first things. So talking about priority things. Kingdom. Kingdom of God. You know that salvation is not an easy thing. So always work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Don't lose that salvation, God can lose it. So we must make sure that these are the things that we do. We read the Bible, we pray without ceasing, pray. Making sure that you are living holy lives. Making sure that, Lord, you are cutting yourself from certain activities and things that are ungodly, especially ungodly an activity of engaging yourself through WhatsApping, through also. It's not necessary, honestly. It's not necessary. It's a waste of time, I'm telling you. You can spend about half of the day WhatsApping. Without even going to the Bible. Some people don't know where the Bible is. But this is the season. God said first things first. And God is waiting for those who are practicing first things first. So that they will receive rewards from you. He said, if you do, He will add those things to you. The things that you think are so important, you are going to pursue in the market, in all other areas. God says, seek this thing first. But those things are easy. Because you'll be there. And they will be knocking at your door, bringing those things to you. So righteousness, very, very important. And righteousness, the nearest thing to righteousness is faith. Reading the Bible, making sure that indeed you develop enormous desire to love God, to move in God, to operate in God, to believe in God, to trust God in everything. So righteousness goes with faith. The righteous shall live by what? By faith. So always making sure that if you're seeking kingdom, have faith in God. Trust Him. Totally depend on Him in the way. Seeking righteousness. Seek it. Now, number 2, we are talking about priorities of life. So we have talked about righteousness and the kingdom things. Everything about God is the kingdom. Seek Jesus. Seek God. Seek the Holy Spirit. Baptism. Holy Spirit anointed. Fullness. Some people say that, okay, I'm born again, or I don't need the baptism of the Holy Spirit. Hey, God says, seek it. Seek baptism. Because it's part of the kingdom activity, kingdom work, kingdom will seek it. You get it. Now, number 2, let's begin with number 2 because of time. Number 2 is love. So love is one thing that is so proud. Yes, it's priority. Love is priority. Now let's look at Mark chapter 12, verse 13. Mark 12. Mark 12, verse 13. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your heart, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your sin. And verse 1, the second is love your neighbor as yourself. There's no commandment greater than thee. Now let's look at the same scripture in Matthew 22, verse 37, 38. And then I will bring it clear to you. He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Verse 38. This is the first and the greatest commandment. The first and the greatest. I've told you, when we see anything first in the Bible, it means it's a priority. So when Jesus mentioned this, first and the greatest, then it's a priority. So he said, love the Lord your God of all your heart, your soul, and all your soul. In other words, your whole life will be filled with God's love. Your whole activity, your actions, everything you do must indeed reveal God's love. You are doing it because of God's love. Because you love God. So love God is indeed a command. It's a command. And it's something that we must all pursue. And it's the first thing, priority. So Father, if you're a father, then this is another thing you must seek. You must always be part of. Men who I'm speaking to, God says it's a first thing also in your life. It's a priority. Loving God and loving all human beings. He added the second one is love your neighbor as yourself. So it means that the love must not only be vertical, but also be horizontal. As we relate to God vertically in love, which people say it's very difficult to love God. If you find difficult to love God, then love your neighbor. Be able to love your neighbor in the same thing you're doing for God. So God is saying that it's a priority. Men, it's a priority. It's very important. Make sure that you don't indeed compromise of your love for one another. Love for God. Loving God. Anyone who loves God in God is a person who is a worshiper. So God is number one in your life. And you are worshiping Him. You are declaring majesty. You are professing Him, confessing Him, proclaiming Him, His majesty, His authority, His power, His glory, His grace over all things. And then what you are doing is that you are showing to the people of the world that apart from God, there's no one you have. Make you number one in your love, in your life, that you love. So God means if you say you love, it means you must give. Give your whole self to God. Give your all to Him. Your time, your money, your commitment, all your vision, your dreams, your house, your children, your wife, give all to God. That's what God is saying. And I think we can all learn about the example of Abraham. When God said, go and sacrifice your Isaac, your son Isaac, the one you love. Go and sacrifice him unto me. It wasn't easy, but Isaac, but Abraham had pride. The Bible said he was going to do it, but God, at the point of doing it, God said, no, stop. I've said that you love me. And that's the thing. So here it is saying that we should sacrifice our Isaac. Anyone who is able to sacrifice Isaac unto God means that you love God. And Father might begin to do that. I'm not saying go and sacrifice your son. Your Isaac means, you see, your Isaac is your whole total life. It's your money. That's where you must go. Let it go. Let it go to God. So that God will be glorified in every aspect of your life. So here, God is actually prioritizing things that are so important in every life, which indeed, through that, we can be connected to all His blessings of change that we are experiencing in life. Now, love. And let me just share the last one, which is also very popular to you. Now, the last one is also priority that we must also pursue and we make it first also in your life. Is the word of God. God's word. Now let's look at that also from 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 34. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 34. For what I received I passed on to you as of first importance. Now listen to it again. As first importance. For what I received I passed on to you as of first importance. That Christ died for our sins according to the scriptures. That He was buried. That He was raised on the third day according to the scriptures. So what was Paul doing? He was passing on the word of God to the Corinthians. That's what he was doing. Passing on God's word. So which means it's one important priority in life. God's word. Don't abandon it. The Bible talks about hiding your heart and not sin against God. Let it be a weapon in your hands, in your life, in every aspect of life. Memorize the word day and night. Believe in the word, search in the word. Don't at all compromise with the word. Don't analyze the word in your own carnal way. It's God's word. What God has declared is the truth. So always, God always must be received as the truth. He said to John 17:17, that word is truth. That word is truth. So God's word is truth. So when you hear God's word, take it. That's the right way. And do it. Don't challenge it. Don't think it's going to delay. Don't think it's going to work. And see, some people analyze it. Analyze the word of God as if they are like God. But don't be like that. Take the word of God as it is. In this simplicity. Don't over spiritualize the word. Take it as it is. You see it as it is in the context. Believe in that, move in that instruction, and let God do the rest. Because God never fails in His word. He's always the same, yesterday, today, and forever. So also is His word. So, beloved, these are the priorities of things that we must do as fathers in life. These are the things we must always pursue. Always obeying the word, following the word of God, making the word of God become part of your life. Indeed, always confessing the word, meditating the word, declaring the word. In fact, if you go to the book of Deuteronomy, it talks about it's praising the word of God all over the place, so that everywhere you go, the word becomes your daily conversation that you declare. Share this in your home, to your children, to all your family members. Let it be part of your family life. Indeed, in your home, as your father in your home, that's what we must be doing. Sometimes in conversation, you sort in the word of God to make all family members know that look, but everything you are doing are based. Everything is based on the word of God. So do this, and you see that there will also be light always in your home. And not only that, so obedience to the word of God is very, very important. And studying it every day, reading it every day that we must read. And when we say the word of God, we're talking about Bible. For us, this is the physical word that we receive, the word that we receive. There are other things that we hear from God, but this is what God has given to us. Don't go beyond this. This is the word. Don't go for any other book. This is the Bible, is the word of God. This is what God has given to us. We must take it as it is. Love one another. Love God. Love priority. And the last thing, seeking God's kingdom and His righteousness. Always making sure that God's kingdom is number one. Those who come to church previously, when we will come to church late. But every time we do, there must always be done first, and also on time. And let it be like part and parcel of your life. Don't allow anything that concerns God be second activity in your life. Pursue it seriously. And beloved, as we do this, now God is saying that look, we are connected to what God has gifted us to be. Two credits to be. Gifted us to be transformed, transformation, reconciliation, evangelization, and perfection. All this will be doing in our life. If we do this, it becomes obvious. We shine like sunny stars over the place. May God indeed honor His word that I preach of joy and peace into your life. May it bring, oh God, reconciliation. May it bring perfection. May it bring, God, evangelization. And may it be transformation in your life. May this word never be the same. May this word bring change that will never be the same in your life again. May you go forward and this word will work upon you. And always remember, men, fathers, remember this. A good more church members, there are three priorities that you must never forget to follow. Anyone who does this become part and parcel of God's glory. The Lord bless all of us, especially men who are on us and who are listening. The Lord be with you. The Lord stand by you. The Lord honor His word concerning your life. May this week be a week of fulfillment of life. May this week bring riches of joy and glory. The treasure of God may it be open unto you. May you become recipients of God's divine blessings in every area. The Lord bless you and honor every area of your life with divine power. Go and will find God's grace upon every soul of your life. Shall we pray? Father, thank you and I bless you for such a wonderful time of rest. May your word that today we have heard resound, O God, deeply in the hearts of everybody. May you quicken every life. May you lift up people from every condition that will bring them to a position of transformation, reconciliation, a position of perfection and evangelization. May it work upon their life. And may this work also direct every person, especially fathers among us and the men, oh God, to live in priorities of life that God has ordained for us. Let us, God, help us to do what God has committed you to do first in life. To seek your kingdom and righteousness first. To seek your way. To seek your love. Help us. And we know when you do this, you will connect us to all your wonderful grace and your glory. Now and forevermore. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. We will continue to worship God. So we'll take songs of worship. So be simply worshiping with us. Worshiping with us. Don't go away. Stay focused as we hear the word of God. Worship God.
We thank you, Jesus. What a wonderful word. What an awesome Father. We thank you for visiting us this morning. We thank you for speaking to our hearts. We thank you, oh God. We bless you. We thank you. We bless your name. Thank you, Abba Father. Call me around. You are God from beginning to the end. There's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself. You are God from beginning to the end. There's no place for argument. You are God all by yourself. Father, we thank you. We bless your holy name. We worship you because you are God. God all alone by yourself. You are the reason for the celebration today. A father to the fatherless. A father to the entire world. A father to the universe. A father to all creation. This morning we join the angels in heaven. We join the 24 elders in heaven. We join all the living creatures in heaven to bow before you, to celebrate you, to worship you, for being there for us when we needed you the most. You were there to comfort us. You were there to encourage us. You were there to lift us up. You chastised us when necessary. And Lord, we just want to say thank you. Thank you for showing us your love. Thank you for showing us your mercy, your kindness, your faithfulness. And all we can say is that we love you because you first loved us. To you be all the glory, now and forevermore. In the name of Jesus. Amen. 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 Let's share the grace. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the sweet fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore.